But I want to get into a topic, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, all my friends out there, everybody, that made me very, very, very angry earlier in the week. The most angry I think I've been until, so I want to attempt to objectively talk about this. I had planned to do a bit of a revelation of let's take a look at past grievances that these people have done, airing all the way back to 2015. However, I spoke to my lovely parents and they said, "What's the point, Chad?" And they're right. What the fuck is the point? So let's just talk about what happened and let's talk about what should happen. MIBR versus FURIA. Now, obviously, there is a lot on the line. And obviously, there is a very, very large fan base that supports one of those teams a lot more than they do the other. Now, if you missed this, if you didn't catch this, if you didn't see this, I don't blame you. It was late at night. That's fine. Maybe you didn't read it
as well.
Okay.
Hard to not catch the aftermath, though.
So
I honestly haven't seen this, so I'm excited.
Okay.
Now, I don't want to taint anybody here. So if I start to get a little bit biased in what I'm saying, Prof or Striker, I would like one of you to take over here because I like I said, I obviously feel very, very strongly about this situation. Now, there was a match between the two teams, and FURIA are in Florida and MIBR are in LA. Now, there was something to do with the servers, the whatever. Now, fuck it, we'll go in order. So there was an issue in the server. They were playing Inferno. There was apparently lagging coming out from the side of MIBR. They wanted to change server, but it probably wasn't a server issue if they were the only ones lagging. I'm not certain, but if only one team's lagging, then it's their internet connection to the server, not the server for everybody. And there was an issue in a round, and it was very close. I believe the scoreline was like 12-12 or 12-13. I don't even, it was on the first map. And Arts pushed up Banana with the AWP, and I believe Fur had the better spawn. So Fur had taken the AWP from Fallen, and he was crouching, peeking to take the line at the half wall, to the T coming up to the half wall. And Art kills Fur. Now, what ensued after this was them going onto the B bomb site. The camera angle quickly changed to Fallen, who had frozen or had stopped. And at that point, that is when I do believe that they called not live. Now, the question about them lagging, that's not a question. They were obviously lagging. The question about the rules traditionally state, because everybody's basically copied ESL's rule book, that if damage has been done, that there will not be a restart. Now, obviously, guys, when we take into consideration the footage and everything that came out afterwards, and in that regard, I think everybody would be more than happy for there to have been a restart. But it is the issue of how we got there. So FURIA continued to play out the round because they were playing as by the book. And this is what we should all do. For all of you out there, no matter what level of competition that you are playing to, play until the fucking whistle. You can only control what you can control. You are not in control of any bullshit that's going on with the PC crash, with the internet, with any of that stuff. That is out of your hands. Does it suck? Yeah, it fucking sucks. But play to the whistle, and then we'll have a discussion. So what happened after that? The game stopped. The question came in about having it restarted. Within the text, you guys can go and check all the logs if you would like. It's been translated, I believe.
Yeah, it's in the demo as well, just in Brazilian, like Portuguese.
And Art has said something along the lines of let Gary, the coach, and Dead work it out. Now, after that, it didn't really seem that heated, like in terms of the text that was coming through, but the sentiment that then followed after that was that by FURIA players leaving it to the coach, which personally I think is the correct decision. I don't think players should have any say in those kind of scenarios. They should leave it to the admin and their coaches or management to work out this stuff. You're only playing the game. You're only playing the game. Now, what happened was they were having the discussion, and there was a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. But during this, because we're in an online environment, a video from Fallen with his hundreds of thousands of followers was put online during the conversation. Now,
this is one of the benefits of the online era. You can just like during a technical break, just tweet a video for everyone to just like go on your side. That could not happen on LAN, so good shit, I think, overall.
Yeah. So now, when that conversation is going on, now I'm going to go away right now, guys, from the story. I want everybody to be quite clear on this. I want you to come on a fucking journey with me, right? And I'm very sorry that I'm going to upset a lot of Brazilian fans here. I don't want to upset you. I'm not speaking out against your team. I'm not trying to upset the apple cart here. I am just genuinely telling you what this would make me feel. Now, earlier in the show, we were talking about what Fallen has done for his scene. And there is no doubt about what he has created and what he has done. He is a legend for what he has been able to accomplish as a player, as a person, and all those kind of bits and pieces. But for 1 second, let's consider if we're Art or Queserado or Yuri or any of these kids who looked up to what Fallen and Coldzera and all these guys, fuck, I'm getting emotional, would have looked up to them as legends, right? As people who curated a scene, who have achieved so much, like respected them and loved them and looked at them like they were their idols. And then they turn on them in obviously a game that is very, very important, and they put them on blast on social media in front of hundreds of thousands of people who we know they're a very passionate fan base, right? We know that they're a very passionate fan base, and I love that they're passionate, but they direct so much anger and what it was for those kids, right? Like those kids, could you imagine like how fucking horrible that must feel to be in the middle of a game, right? And have that turned on you, right? These people that you once fucking respected the shit out of turning on you in the middle of a game that it's your fucking job, right? And then after the aftermath of all of this, like the tweets that came out, like Fur calling them shit. I don't think he's calling them shit players. I think what he was trying to insinuate was they were shit people for not. The take I took from the MIBR account was they didn't think that FURIA were being men and that they were being fair play. But this is a job with hundreds of thousands of dollars on the line, and they're trying to be professional about this, right? Leave it up to the admins, leave it up to your coach. Like, this shouldn't be a conversation of, hey, let's like, of course there should have been a restart. Of course there should have been, but this is in the middle of the game. And these kids, I could see how frustrated they were after it. They were all losing it. They were all losing it after they didn't want to be in the server anymore, right? They didn't want to be there playing anymore. And it really fucking got to me, man, because I don't understand like how they can do that and then not apologize. They didn't apologize. They did like some comments and stuff, but I don't know, man. I'm losing it. Someone take over. Fuck.
How it can still be a problem.
Yeah, I just think the most important thing that we all need to take away from this, right, is what we were talking about earlier to do with competitive integrity, right? Because by influencing people's emotions, right, you are in that fashion, right? In that fashion, that to me kind of takes away from the competitive integrity, right? Because you are whether they were or they weren't, I'm not going to accuse them. I'm not going to say that they knew what was going to happen. That's not up to me to make that call or assumption. But you're either intentionally or unintentionally weaponizing your gargantuan fan base, right?
For sure.
Like, there's no question on whether or not Fallen has done amazing things and those kind of, like, there's no question. There's no question. I used to like love watching them play. Like, I got to play against them. These guys were guys that, you know, I was watching demos of and spending hours of my time. And it's like people look up to them like idols. And I think that we need to all be much more responsible with how we use social media as players and as talent and as all these bits and pieces, right? Because it's not. I've now been doing this, right? I was a professional Counter-Strike player back in 2008. Social media wasn't like this. I wish it was. You know, it would have been great for my career back then. But in terms of all these bits and pieces, we've all grown and changed a lot. I'm a 30-year-old man now. Have I done things in my life that I think are dumb? Have I said things that are stupid? Do I regret some of the things in the past? Of course I do. But I learn, and I think that we should all learn, and we should all be stepping in the right direction where we want to do good, right? We should be showing the next generation of people who look up to these players and teams, etc., who idolize them, what the right things to do are, not what the wrong things to do are. And look, it's a different culture. I'm not going to pretend to understand. I won't even pretend to understand for a moment. But it just broke my fucking heart to see that go down there. And look, if everyone's cool, can we move on from this? Because I don't want to dwell on it for too long.
Yeah,
for sure.
Okay. Now, Striker.